Let me paint you a picture. It's 7 a.m. on a Saturday. A 78-year-old man named Gerald pulls out of his garage in a 2004 Lexus LS430. He's wearing a collared shirt. He has a full tank of gas. He just changed the oil because it was the third Saturday of the month, and that's just what you do. Gerald is not a car guy. Gerald is a discipline guy. And Gerald, without knowing it, has been babysitting one of the most valuable vehicles on the planet for the last 20 years. When Gerald lists that car on Facebook Marketplace next spring, I need you to be the first one to call him. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a dealership. I'm a guy who got absolutely torched on a 2017 Ford Escape with 74,000 miles and a $3,400 transmission problem and decided to never let that happen again. So I spent 8 months, embarrassingly long, my wife will confirm, obsessing over which old cars actually last, which ones are quietly disappearing off the used market, and most importantly, which ones old people drove so gently they're basically still new. The answer surprised me. It's not what car influencers talk about. It's not what dealers push. It's a very specific list of vehicles engineered during a golden window, roughly 1999 to 2013, when cars were built to be fixed, not replaced. I call them grandpa cars. And in 2026, they're the smartest purchase you can make with $15,000 or less. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Modern cars aren't worse because engineers got lazy. They're worse because the incentives changed. In 2005, a car company made money when you bought the car. In 2026, they make money when you finance it, insure it, subscribe to its features, and bring it back for dealer-only software repairs. Reliability became the enemy of the business model. But between 1999 and 2013, we were in the sweet spot. Fuel injection was mature, safety structures were advanced, but turbos were still optional. Timing chains hadn't been replaced by glorified rubber bands. Transmissions still had dipsticks. If something broke, a guy named Dale at an independent shop could fix it for $200. That world still exists. You just have to buy a car from it. Car number 1. The 2000 to 2005 Buick LeSabre, the unkillable couch. The GM 3800 Series 2 V6 is the most underrated engine in American automotive history. It's a pushrod design, no timing chain to stretch. Cast iron block, cast iron heads, it runs like a refrigerator. Boring, consistent, never stops. The only real flaw, plastic coolant elbows that crack around 100,000 miles. Replace them with luminol for $40 on a Saturday afternoon, and you've just extended the car's life by 200,000 miles. A clean, one-owner LeSabre in 2026 runs about $4,000 to $6,000. That's less than the down payment on a new Equinox that'll need a new transmission at 90,000 miles. Car number 2, the 2003 to 2011 Ford Crown Victoria, or its smarter twin, the Mercury Grand Marquis. The police departments ran these cars 24 hours a day through city streets, idling for hours in summer heat, and they still hit 300,000 miles. The 4.6-liter modular V8 was overbuilt from the factory. Body-on-frame chassis, same concept as a heavy-duty truck. Now, here's the budget hunter move. Ignore the ex-police Crown Victorias. Find the Mercury Grand Marquis. It's the exact same car mechanically, but it was sold to retirees. No push-bar dents, no shotgun rack holes, no 200,000 miles of brake stand launches. It was driven to Denny's and back. In 2026, a clean Grand Marquis can be found for $5,000 to $8,000. A V8, rear-wheel drive, sofa seat luxury car with a trunk the size of a small apartment. Now, I want to stop here because someone in the comments is about to type, "Old cars need constant repairs." And to that, I say, you're thinking of the wrong old cars. A 2008 BMW 3 Series needs constant repairs. A 2009 Nissan Murano with a CVT needs constant repairs. Age isn't the variable. Engineering philosophy is the variable. The cars on this list were built with a different goal, built by engineers who hadn't yet been told to design for obsolescence. The best old car beats a mediocre new car every single time, if you know which one to buy.
Car number 3, the 2001 to 2006 Lexus LS430. Stealth wealth, maximum engineering. Toyota spent billions on a project called Circle F with one goal: build a car more reliable and quieter than a Mercedes S-Class. They succeeded. The 3UZFE 4.3-liter V8 is so refined you can balance a coin on the intake manifold while it idles. These were $90,000 cars when new. Surgeons bought them, professors bought them, people who actually read the owner's manual bought them. In 2026, a well-maintained LS430 with 110,000 miles sells for around $12,000 to $15,000. That's a car built to a standard that no longer exists, available at the price of a base Honda Civic. Car number 4, the 2005 to 2012 Toyota Avalon, the invisible Lexus. Here's a stat that should bother you. The Toyota Avalon and a Lexus ES share the same platform, the same engine, and nearly the same interior quality, but the Avalon sells for 25 to 35% less on the used market. Why? Because nobody thinks it's cool. It doesn't have a badge people recognize. It was marketed to people who didn't care about marketing. The GR 4.6 V8 in this generation is one of Toyota's most bulletproof engines ever made. Find one with under 90,000 miles and you have a large, whisper-quiet, supremely comfortable car for $9,000 that will run another 200,000 miles. Car number 5, the 2004 to 2008 Acura TSX, the driver's cheat code. In mechanic circles, the Honda K-Series is treated with religious reverence. The K24 uses a timing chain, not a belt. It has VTEC. It has high flow ports. It was designed with tolerances so tight it was almost overqualified for a family sedan. In 2026, a clean one-owner TSX runs $7,000 to $10,000. It handles like a sports sedan, gets 30 miles on the highway, and will start every morning without complaint for the next 15 years. One thing to check, the AC compressor. If it works, the car is gold. If it doesn't, negotiate $800 off and fix it yourself on a Sunday. Car number 6, the 2003 to 2008 Pontiac Vibe, the Toyota in disguise. Pontiac went bankrupt. Everyone knows it, and that bankruptcy is the entire reason this car is a bargain. The Pontiac Vibe was a joint venture with Toyota. Under the badge, Toyota engine, Toyota transmission, Toyota electronics, Toyota build quality. In 2026, you can find a clean Vibe for $4,000 to $6,000. A comparable Toyota Matrix in equivalent condition sells for $2,000 to $3,000 more for the exact same car. If you need a reliable hatchback and you have under $6,000, this is your move. Car number 7, the 2008 to 2013 Toyota Highlander V6, the grandma SUV. The turbocharged, start-stop, hybrid optional modern SUV market is a minefield. The 2008 to 2013 Highlander was built before all of that got complicated. Naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6, traditional automatic transmission, no cylinder deactivation, no belt alternator starter wearing itself out every time you hit a red light. These were the school pickup lane and Costco run SUVs. In 2026, one with 160,000 miles is not scary. It's barely broken in. Budget, $12,000 to $16,000. A family hauler that will outlast anything on a dealer lot today. Car number 8, the 2003 to 2011 Lincoln Town Car, the final boss. Same platform as the Crown Victoria, same immortal 4.6-liter V8, same truck-grade frame. But instead of a police cage and vinyl seats, you get a floating ride, genuine rear-wheel drive luxury, and an interior so quiet it feels like a library on wheels. Retirees kept these in heated garages. They waxed them. They followed service schedules printed in the manual they actually read. In 2026, you can find town cars with under 50,000 miles for $8,000 to $12,000. These are essentially new cars from an era when American luxury was actually luxurious, not a touchscreen and a payment plan. The car industry wants you afraid of mileage. They want you to believe 100,000 miles means a car is dead because that fear is worth billions in new car loans. It's not true. A well-maintained grandpa car with 120,000 miles is more reliable than a new car with bad software and plastic internals because its flaws are known, its parts are cheap, and its engineering has been proven by time. You don't need a new car. You need the right old car. If this helped you, subscribe, because next week I'm dropping the full inspection checklist video so you know exactly what to look for when you go find one of these in the wild. Don't buy the hype, buy the history.